Hey, yo, what's that?
Oh, is it Popeyes?
Oh, dude, I love Popeyes. What's in it? Oh, no! 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 Why did you do this to me? Jimmy John's. I don't really care for Jimmy John's.
And
Dang
then he
it.
snaps it, and it's
What?
something else.
It's a
It's
snap
just a
wrap.
pickle, actually. Like,
If this was a big pickle, that would be crazy.
Well, they have those. You can
I
order
know.
Big Pickle at Jimmy John's. I used to do that for some reason. Now I don't.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you might as well just go buy a jar of pickles.
Exactly. And then be the person that also drinks the liquid from the jar of pickles.
Yeah. Oh, you did?
No, is that if that's you, comment down below.
Yeah, if you drink pickle juice,
You're
you're
probably
free,
an
man.
athlete. There
You're
are
free.
reasonable people that drink pickle juice.
Name one.
Yeah, name one.
Athletes. All of the athletes that I know do that. It's
They
good
That's
can
for
not a
also
people.
get
name.
electrolytes from electricity.
Yeah, plug yourself into an outlet.
Oh,
Don't, no.
No, my bad. My
that
bad.
is not the opinion of UMR or anyone else on this podcast. Do not
That's,
plug
That-
yourself into an
that's what
outlet.
they all say.
Okay.
That's true.
Hey, welcome back, listeners, to the UMR in Summary podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jessie B, she, her, Cornell College. And with me, I have my co-hosts, Nathan, I think is
Nathan Dozier, Kansas State University, he, him until the 31st.
Wait, no, wait. Oh, yes, because that's crazy. I know what you're referring to. We'll
oh,
move
fair enough.
on. We'll move
Yeah,
on.
okay. Fair enough.
No, we'll move on
Yep.
from that. That's so unfortunate. Yeah, my name's Dallas Lance Nees. He, him until I get killed. And I work at North Dakota State University. I'm a hall director. I've officially entered UNC status.
Can maybe everyone else understands what that means?
Um,
I'm UNC, bro.
and with us we have
Yeah. Our
um,
special guest.
hi, I'm Jordan. Jordan Schramm, she, her, and I'm from the College of St. Benedict.
Thank you so much for being here and putting up with
Jordan.
us.
I'm
Uh,
loving the praise now, so appreciate it.
Great. Can you give us like a fun fact about yourself so that our listeners can get to know you a bit?
Um, so fun fact, I love geese, but geese are not my favorite animal.
Whoa. I knew that you loved geese. I didn't know that.
Honk.
What is your favorite?
Yeah,
What do you love more than geese?
dogs.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, fair.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean,
I know
yeah.
it's a lame answer, so that's why when anybody asks, I'm like geese, and they're like, why?
Yeah.
And I think it's funny.
This is good. I appreciate it. For the listeners, Jordan has multiple goose outfits, which we have seen in our committee. It's really a great time. If you want to come to the UMR conference, you may see some there.
Jordan is actually a
Kylie,
goose.
huh?
No, I said Jordan is actually a goose. Honk.
And we don't use the S word.
Surprise. I was gonna say, unfortunately, if my office is leaking from the ceiling, otherwise I'd show you all my geese, but
Next time.
yeah, next time. So
How many
fun.
geese do you have?
Oh gosh. One, two, three, four, five, six. Six of them that are actually like physical little statues or stuffed animals or things. And then I have them all over the wall.
That's
Welcome
a
back to UMR In Summary Goose Watch.
mm.
Today we're going to be going over these ganders.
Oh, all right.
Love
The
it.
one goose word I
Boo.
know.
Boo. Boo.
All right,
Tomato,
these ganders about
tomato.
what, Nathan?
Yeah, keep going.
These ganders about
Gan
higher education.
Dude, Gander. I don't even know her.
Stop. Oh my
Man,
gosh.
man, this
Okay, so first question of today. How do you guys feel about feedback?
Is that what we're talking about today? Great introduction.
Depends on the feedback.
Mm.
Keep going.
Got him.
I mean, I guess I can start.
Yeah, go for it.
So I have very strong feelings about feedback. And
Right.
everybody's like, yeah, see, I need feedback, like the positive and the constructive, like every time that I go in for a one-on-one, and my supervisors are always like, you don't need that much feedback. And I'm like, yes, I do. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, I mean, I love feedback. It's how I know if I'm doing my job well, and it's how I know if people like care about the work that I do. So I don't know how other people feel.
Thoughts on the feedback sandwich? Like good feedback, bad feedback, good feedback. Thoughts on that?
You're getting into one of our later questions, but
Dude, I'm sorry. I just think it makes sense right now.
That's
take
fine. I think the feedback sandwich is like, yes, it works, and I think that people do it the wrong way.
I
Because
agree. Keep going.
so I think that you need to start out with something positive. You need to talk about the good things that they're doing, then get into the constructive, but then you don't end it with more good things that they're doing. You end it with something along the lines of like, I have hopes that you can like, like you will be successful, or like it's not necessarily like you loop back to something completely different and off topic. It's like the feedback sandwich. You end it with something that is positive about like their ability to move forward and grow. So that's my thoughts on it.
I have thoughts on the feedback sandwich. And I fully agree with everything you said, and it's nothing that I've ever thought of with the feedback sandwich. So I'm still gonna say what I was gonna say before you said that, even though you're more right than I am.
okay.
Uh, I
Okay,
think
man.
I think the feedback sandwich is used as more of a comforting tool of giving feedback for the giver of the feedback, way more so than a good way to receive feedback when it comes to positive, negative, positive, if it had nothing to do with the actual negative. After what you said, that just is a better way of utilizing it. But the way I've seen it utilized, it's always just like, well, this is a nice structure that makes me not feel bad at the end for giving you a reprimand.
Dude.
And I've always thought that that was a little
Yeah.
cheap. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
Dude, my radical take is I don't think if you have feedback to give someone that's negative, I don't think you're obligated to give anything positive that they're doing. Bro, if you've already done your job as a feedback giver, as a supervisor, giving feedback and constructive criticism and all that good stuff to your staff, when there comes a time where you have to actually have like a laid down the law conversation, I don't know. I don't want to sugarcoat things in the beginning of like, all right, you do this really well, but actually this is why we're meeting and you suck. Okay, that's radical. Okay, I don't. That's not the point. The standpoint that I'm taking right now. My actual thoughts. Uh, damn it! I keep getting blurred. I keep moving too much. Um, my actual thoughts on specifically feedback sandwich, and these are my feelings of feedback in general. Then I guess I'll go into. Um, yes, I agree with Nathan. I think the whole end it with positive feedback is just used so poorly,
Mhm.
and I appreciate Jordan's words, and I think it's really good. You could go the whole let's ease into this conversation. Let's have the hard part of the conversation, and then let's leave the conversation with some sort of action plan, game plan going forward of like, this is how you can improve, my guy. Um, I don't like the whole you do well with talking with residents. You shouldn't have said that during staff meeting. I like your door decks. Okay, dude. Boo. Um, and I think feedback is fantastic for improving. We can get into things later. Jesse?
Yeah, I was gonna say I do want to go back to feelings around feedback, and I wanted to hear Jesse's answer to that.
Well, I think, yeah, I wanted to start off with this question because I think a lot of people, myself included, hear the word feedback and get nervous. Um, like if my boss calls me in for feedback, that's not good, usually. Um, so I think that just kind of needs to be addressed as we talk about methods. Like people generally, and if I call my student staff in for feedback, they're also not super looking forward to that conversation most of the time. Even in eval seasons where it's like routine, they come in and they're nervous. Um, so I think while we learn to receive it, we learn to process it, it ends up usually being okay if you're used to it. There's also just some inherent anxiety that comes with being evaluated that I think is part of the reason that it matters that we have this conversation at all, because otherwise we wouldn't have to care about how we deliver feedback because people would just always respond to it. Does that make sense?
100%. I
Yeah.
totally
So that's my thought on feelings around feedback. They are there and we should care about them.
And I
understand.
100% agree. And like, I honestly have a lot of student staff members and even myself sometimes, like, feedback can be overwhelming.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, like, it's important to one, like, approach the conversation in a way that is like gonna work for the person you're giving the feedback to. So like I asked all my student staff members like at the beginning of the year, if I'm gonna give you feedback, how would you like me to let you know ahead of time, like we're having this conversation so that you can prepare? Do you want to know? Like, do you want me to just like in a one-on-one say, okay, here's our section for giving feedback, those types of things.
Right.
Like so that they can be as mentally prepared for it as possible. And then like I also lead that with like me giving you feedback means that I'm invested in your growth and your ability to like do really, really well. It's not because I'm trying to be like hard on you or like, like tear you down. It's because I really want to see you be well, like be successful and do well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I actually think like as much as I'm like people have feelings about feedback, we need to like delivery matters. I think probably almost everyone could use more. Like I really appreciate Jordan how you've been so like open with your supervisor and now with us about no, I need this. I need more. Because it is the way that we check in and know if there's something that needs to be changed. And a lot of times I think it's easy, especially as supervisors, to say, I mean, it's not really a problem until it is. Uh, and then we're having a very different, more threatening conversation because we couldn't have one earlier.
Obviously this is easier said than done, but I think changing how taboo feedback can feel
Uh-huh.
is being consistent
Right.
with how you deliver it, or how often you give feedback. You could like, I mean, like I think for example, this is like just to better explain what I'm trying to say in words. Um, our hall gov here at NDSU, after every event, does an event like evaluation form that
Right.
we
Right.
will do at the meeting after the event, where we go through the event, like positives, negatives, things we can improve on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's space there to have a conversation about, okay, how did everyone do? How did everyone feel about this? It's like all that good stuff. If you just make it more of a consistent thing rather than like, the only time I actually give you some sort of update on things is your evaluation at the end of the semester. And then that, because if that's the case, then that's where I feel like a lot of anxiety can stem from is, well, shoot, I haven't had actual tangible conversation about what I've been doing up until this point. So now how am I actually doing? So if you just make it more consistent, provide some sort of consistency to it. I don't know. That's how I feel, at least with my experience with my student staff. I feel like that's why we have a lot of good and constructive conversations
Yeah.
behind closed doors, because it's such a consistent thing that I develop the environment for with the staffs that I supervise.
Great. So that actually kind of, wait, Nathan, you have a thought.
Yeah.
Nathan.
I think my real like core thought with all like stigma around feedback and people getting anxious about feedback is there's this like part of the brain that got formed really early on when we were a baby. This is scientifically studied by me, and
By you.
it got crystallized really early, and it was the first time you got in trouble with your parents, and your parents said, "Don't do that." And you're like, "Now I'm in trouble." And what that doesn't mean anything. Like I'm in trouble unless there's a consequence to it. You're not in trouble. Like they told you to stop doing a thing. But then everyone has this like feeling of I got in trouble in work and now everyone thinks about it. And most people don't. That even as a supervisor, if I have to have a conversation, after that conversation's done, I am trying my best to move to the next thing. And I even have the same feeling of if Nick called me to his office today and said, "Hey, I need to talk to you about something," I'd be like, I didn't do something. And there's no way because there's literally nothing that I need to do for Nick right now besides a program that doesn't happen for another month. So he couldn't really be having any bad feedback to give me. But if he called me, I'd be like, I'm in trouble.
Can I be really nerdy and explain that phenomenon?
Yo, it's called Stockholm Syndrome, right? I'm kidding, please.
No, that's different. If you struggle with that, we probably have a hotline we should link.
That's fair. Sorry, please continue.
Okay, so that part of your brain that got really scared the first time you were in trouble, that's called the limbic system. It's way back here in your brainstem.
I could feel it.
Yeah, so it's way back here in your brainstem. It's where signals from your environment travel first. And it tends to just like that's where our fight or flight reaction comes from. So you get a split second like burst of adrenaline, you get all of these feelings, and they are not yet being processed by the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that does not fully develop until you are 25. And also the part of your brain that can rationalize, like, no one's thinking about that conversation after we've had it. But these two parts of the brain, unless you've really activated your PFC up front, it's not sending a lot of signals to calm down your limbic system, which is why, Dallas, consistent feedback to kind of desensitize that response in the limbic system and show your prefrontal cortex like, hey, it's okay to turn on, you're safe, is actually really helpful. Because the more that you have good experiences with feedback, the more that your brain and your body will say, okay, this is okay. I'm safe. I don't need to have the response of I'm in trouble and I'm afraid.
Right now, I feel exactly the same as the guy who said doctors should wash their hands. And he was right.
You were correct. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, real quick. My favorite signs in bathrooms at like restaurants and stuff is just the employees must wash hands, which signifies like technically I don't have to. And I will wash my hand.
Agreed.
I will wash my hand, but like employees must. Good. Nice.
Yeah, I'm not going to mandate that the customers do because they technically have the legal right not to.
It's so
Technically.
stupid.
I just think about all the people that actually have walked out without washing their hands.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately a number that there's no way we could ever get a real study of it. There's no one who's out there like, I don't wash my hands and I'm proud.
No, there are people.
I should get that on a shirt. I don't wash my hands and I'm proud, bro. Just right here, dude.
I eat off the floor.
Okay, so given all of that information about our brains, can y'all tell me some good experiences and or bad experiences that you've had with feedback? Dallas.
I think group feedback with a team that hates each other, not good.
Bad, very bad.
I won't get into specifics. But I mean, I'm going into my 7th year doing hall directing stuff. So I've been on 7 different teams technically, but more because people leave in the middle of regardless. There was one year maybe the team wasn't the closest that I've interacted with, and there was a lot of hostility might be a good word. And it got to a really bad point where we did a let's all sit in the same room and work on a shared document and give feedback to one.
I love live feedback from
not great. And then you had time to like, oh, you said this about me. What can you give me more context? So I think I think Sorry, I'm like reliving everything in my brain now from that experience. It's so fucking hilarious. Um, so me being me, haha, hee hee, Dallas, that was actually funny as hell, that experience. It was a bad experience with feedback. I don't think I would ever want to go do that for my own staff, but I think like reflecting on it, hilarious. Hilarious. It was like a 4 hour session, like right after it was
Oh,
like in the same season of RA hiring. And I'm just like, bro, what are we doing?
oh,
What are we
that's
doing?
horrible.
Oh, in the moment it kind of was, but afterwards I'm just like, damn, that was kind of funny, huh?
Um,
So, yeah,
Psychological torture currently stands at Stanford prison experiment, Dallas's feedback session that lasted 4 hours.
yeah, it was interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll yield my time for now.
Yeah. I want to know Jordan. Jordan, do you have
yeah,
fun
please, Jordan.
experiences?
Uh,
Bad or good?
See, okay, so I've had some like most of them like feedback experiences I've had have been kind of like in the middle. I guess like the really good feedback that I got this year was from it was a group experience because it didn't just involve me. But I unfortunately was the one who like started the chain of events
Mm.
that like led into this whole big situation involving two residents and the roommate conflict that ended up terribly. And so before the conversation, my supervisor pulled me into a room and was like, "Hey, like I know the situation like did not go well. There were things that were just like overlooked, like information that we did not have, and I know that you were working with the information that you had at the time, and like moving forward, like it's okay to just like pause, take a break, and like say, like tell the residents that they need to like step away from each other and that you are gonna take time to get more information. Um, because I'll be real, I acted very quickly, hearing like with the information that I had, these residents were unsafe. And it was bad. It was really bad. And then my coworker ended up having to be the one to like deal with the aftermath.
Mm.
And so then we went from that conversation into a group conversation about like the whole experience and like where everybody along the lines could have done better or differently. And so like she was really specific too with the kind of feedback that she gave me. And then like it was also helpful to see that like yes, maybe I was the like catalyst for a decent amount of this, but it like I wasn't the only one like responsible for everything that happened. Um and so that was really good. And then I've had some like honestly like the worst feedback moments I've had were when I got no feedback at all. Like when I was an undergrad, I had a supervisor who didn't give me any feedback. Because I don't think that she had any idea what I was doing. Like
Oh,
I skipped like 6 programs that year and I walked into her office and she was like, "You're doing great." And I was like, "I haven't done a program since November." And she was like, "What?"
oh,
So, yeah. Like I haven't had any experiences where anybody's been like super harsh. I mean, I will say like I think that I take like harsh feedback differently than other people. So like it doesn't like it's not something that like maybe would impact me in the same way it impacts other people, but those are my like two extremes, I should say, like the good and the bad.
yeah.
So,
Those are good examples.
mhm.
Pro tip, if you're gonna supervise folks, you should know their job.
Know their job and that they're showing up to it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, for the record, I don't know exactly what people's jobs are here
Fired.
that I supervise, but I think I get like a full calendar year before I'm expected to. Thank you.
Tomato,
Mm,
tomato.
I'm
I,
kidding. I'm not
I
going
don't
to take
know
a
about that.
full year. I know what they do. I was a CC or
Carbon copy?
or whatever you guys are. Yeah, I'm a carbon copy.
I'm
Yeah,
shocked.
always living in my brother's shadow. Yeah, unpack
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Jesse. No,
The
We
UMR
can't
in
talk
Summary
about that not
podcast.
recording.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding,
No.
please.
This podcast is brought to you by AI. This is AI generated podcast.
I don't want to derail. I want to get back to this feedback thing. I want to talk about. So I've had. Uh, hmm. It, the problem is I can only think of the bad ones, and that's because the bad ones are always like funnier or just easier to pop into your head. And I've talked about this in the podcast briefly. Now that I'm more removed from it, it's a lot easier to talk about, though. Where I've given feedback to someone, but the problem is the feedback weirdly fell into their personal life bleeding into work. And I guess when it comes to that type of thing, honestly, it just gets really messy. Because if you make a commentary of someone on like if they're acting appropriately on a day-to-day basis, because like their partner is around the workplace also,
Oh gosh.
it immediately gets personal. And it's like that it was never intended personal. I need you to act professional. And that this doesn't work. I wish I had a like reflection on that, which was how to do that better.
Mm.
But my answer is if for some reason at all, if you were involved in the feedback, I'm not trying to give pro tips yet. I know we're going to do that. But if you're involved somehow in the thing that makes it so you have to give negative feedback, then tell your supervisor to give that feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Because if someone's like, you know what, I don't like Nathan. Why? Because my boyfriend doesn't like Nathan. That is not the situation for the record. But if that's what happens, Nathan shouldn't be the one to say, you have to still like Nathan. That's not how it works. You get to say, boss, you can talk to
Yep.
employee A and tell them, hey, Nathan's still your supervisor.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Weird niche situation.
No, I like
Uh,
it.
but not as weird as I feel like it should be. Like,
Drop names.
Yeah.
no dropping names. But I feel like the work that we do, like it's not uncommon for people to be in personal relationship as well as professional, whatever that looks like, whether it's romantic or friendship or, whatever. Um, and so those blurry lines, they
I feel
have.
like the lines blur a lot too, specifically with RAs, because
Yes. Mm-hmm.
like I had several conversations with one of my student staff members about like, hey, like I need you to turn this stuff in on time. Like you're missing several deadlines. It's all coming in like really last minute. And a lot of it was because there were a lot of things happening in her personal life.
Right.
And so like trying to work with those things, but like she felt like she was being attacked all the time because like I was trying to help her and trying to brainstorm options and she was just like I just have so much going on that like this feels like you're just adding to that. So it was never really a productive conversation. And that's like something that I've always found challenging is like trying to meet students where they are and trying to give them really good specific feedback and helping them to be and like to like do better. But when they aren't willing to meet you, like
Right.
where you're at, like I can only help you so much. So
Yeah. And I think there's a point with anyone, not just student staff, where like then you're having a conversation about are you able to do this job in this season? Like, is this because if you can't respond to the feedback that I'm giving you about your work because there are so many other things going on, then maybe we need to take this off your plate. Like, that's okay. Um, Obviously, I think that's a little easier with student staff than if you work with pro staff, but yeah, that would be the point where I would be having a conversation about what is your capacity like, and do we need to kind of coach out of this role rather than
yeah.
feedback.
See, and that's way easier when you have people to come in and step like to fill
Sure.
the
Yeah.
position. I will say I did not have that conversation because we had no director of residence life, no
Right.
assistant director of residence life, and like strapped for RAs to begin with. So
Yeah, it's complicated year to year for sure.
I just want to say, Jordan, if there's no assistant director and there's no director, you're the director. That's all I'm saying.
where's my raise?
Yeah, that's what you should be
That is the
asking.
No,
question.
let's talk about money.
No.
No,
We already
no,
talked about pay.
no. Down. That's Dallas's favorite topic.
I'm blurry again. Oh, I'm back.
So, What's everyone's best methods of giving feedback? We talked about the sandwich, pros and cons of
Mhm.
compliment sandwich. Um, but are there any other known methods or what you have made for yourself?
Yeah, I love the straightforward approach. Go figure. You wouldn't have thought I'd say that, huh?
You know, I'm shocked.
Uh, um,
Truly.
I don't know. I view it as tough love. I love my staff, but let me tell you, I ain't gonna sugarcoat anything just 'cause I love you. I'm gonna tell you how it is, straight to your face. I like a good individualized, like behind like a door feedback type situation,
Yeah, yes.
unless it makes sense for everyone to hear. Because there's definitely sometimes I feel like situations that pop up that even if it didn't particularly pertain to one individual, sharing the concepts and topics with staff could help with their success as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they would bleed into a staff meeting, open forum, discussion, viewpoints, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know. I get straight to it. Um, I mean, I do a lot of work prior throughout the year to build the rapport where then I can actually just do
Right.
the straightforward approach. And I get like depending on your relationship with the individual, it can that might not be the best way to go. And I don't know if there's like an actual like title for what I'm saying in the world of feedback giving. I don't know, but I don't know. I get straight to it, and then we joke about it after because we have a good time. Hee hee ha ha.
So I have thoughts about the group one. So I think that yes, it can be helpful if it's something that pertains to a group. The only thing is that I've been in situations where like we've had a group discussion about something and I felt like it was about me and like
Mm.
everyone was like like I felt like it was my situation and being conflated and like told to all these other people without my name. And like so like how do you balance like
Mm.
not having your student staff or whoever you're giving feedback to feel called out in that scenario when you have like those group feedback discussion moments?
You have the conversation individually with that person or with the individuals of like, hey, here is ways to improve. Also, I think this could be good for the staff. So I, as the staff supervisor, am going to share this education with the team. Unless they are adamant of like, yeah, please don't do that. But like I've not had an experience yet where I've been told, hey, I don't think this should be, you know, brought to an educational session in a staff meeting. But yeah, that's you would have it after. It's like a scaffolding thing almost. You
Mm-hmm.
have your constructive conversation with your individual or individuals on the staff in one-on-ones or additional meetings, and then you scaffold it to have additional content and education in a staff meeting about said uh about more generalized topics of whatever that feedback may
Sure.
be. Because like it's possible, say for example, this person's not submitting their conversations with residents. They're not showing me that they're actually having interactions with their folks. Okay, what can I do as a supervisor to help you do that? But then let's have a conversation at staff meeting to give these tips to everyone because everyone could probably benefit from alternative ways to have interactions with the residents. So I think that is a very not heavy example, but I think
Right.
that explains what I'm trying to get at.
I will say for me, I actually just vet which things get brought up for the staff versus the individual. Because even if a staff member was in charge of, for example, a program and everyone helped with that program, then it's everyone's program that should have feedback. It's not just the one person, even though they're the one kind of leading the charge. I think it's pretty crucial to not ask like, "What did you think about the leadership on this?" Like, I think that's probably a little crappy, but you just have to be a little bit more selective of whether or not is this truly a group conversation or is this very clearly an individual conversation and putting it in front of a group just isn't fair.
Sure.
Unfortunately, though, there are times where it should be a group conversation in that example I just gave, but at the same time, the person leading it's like, well, it was my program. and they can't really see the fact that it was a group effort.
Mhm.
And those ones are a little bit hard because you want to kind of respect the work that the whole group did and give
Right.
them feedback on that, even though it may not come off that way to the individual.
Yeah, those ones are tricky. I mean, I agree that the you gotta kind of weigh what you're gonna say to the group, but also the scaffolding conversation of like, hey, we've already addressed this. Because that I think is the worst when either you don't name names, but they know it's them, and so they're just feeling confronted silently, and not getting a chance to speak into maybe what the context was around whatever you're giving feedback on, um, or when, they're just shocked and blindsided that that was even a problem and you haven't had a chance to talk about it.
Yeah, and that's why you try to preface these kind of conversations with a conversation prior.
Right, right.
But also, like, I mean, maybe this is crazy, but sometimes if the shoe fits, sometimes if it no, and it sounds terrible, but like it's real though. Like sometimes that internalization of oh shit, what I'm doing is now
Yes,
being talked about will help them like oh I should
yes.
actually ship up, I should shape up or ship out type thing.
Right, right.
And
Yes,
so like
I agree.
sometimes that's good. And I feel like a lot of this, I mean, this is all centered around I feel like, or at least my thoughts are of negative feedback.
Mhm.
I think positive feedback comes through the ways of like appreciation and recognition. Um, and that could be again depending on what the individual wants through appreciating them in front of an entire staff or just individually, behind a door. But whatever it may be, I feel like that's how you give positive feedback, or
Right.
a good way to give positive feedback is through appreciation and recognition of the job that they are doing.
Okay, so I also have thoughts on positive feedback because I feel like people don't do positive feedback well
Ever.
enough. And the fact that like, yes, you can say like, oh, hey, like you're great at door decks, but you're not specific enough. Like,
Right.
or
Yes.
hey, like you're like
Agreed.
in the same way that, like negative feedback has to be specific, you also have to be very specific in the positive feedback that you're giving. And nobody really does that. And
Right.
so like I feel like it's hard to focus on like, I mean, like, I have a staff of 12. It's really hard for me sometimes to be really specific for all 12 of them,
Yep.
like consistently. But like, it's something that like I work really, really hard to do so they know specifically what within their job, like what specific skills they are really good at.
Mhm. Yeah, agreed. And it means more when it's specific. Like those are the things that people remember when your supervisor or mentor or whoever says, you're really good at this specific thing, or you've contributed to our team in this specific way. Like that honestly becomes beyond just a feedback conversation into those can be the like, and this is why I chose this career, or this is why because you're seeing, oh, I do have this strength, and I can use that. And so I think positive feedback is what makes good leaders a lot of the time.
I was told today that I'd be really good talking with parents during move-in, and I'm very charming. And I've thought about it all day,
Exactly. See?
and it's
Yeah,
gonna stick.
and
Hmm?
you're cute.
Stop it.
you
What else? What else? Say more.
Oh
got
my
you,
word.
you got a
And now
nice
this is just a positive feedback session.
you got a nice
Yeah, yeah, but for
smile.
just me.
No, yeah, I like your
I'm just kidding.
smile.
Jordan's
Um,
our guest. Let's say positive things about Jordan.
uh,
I don't want to be put on the spot like
oh,
that.
okay.
Please no.
We'll send them to you in writing.
Deal.
Great,
You can
cool.
read them alone in your office.
Well, now you have to. You can't just say that. You better fucking do that now.
Yeah, that's a
Will.
problem.
I will.
Yeah, okay.
Better be
Sure,
specific.
sure.
I will. Gosh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Thanks for the
Accountability.
feedback, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Appreciate
yeah.
I did want to say when it comes to feedback, negative feedback exclusively when I'm talking about this. Maybe positive. I've never really thought about it in that scope, but at least negative feedback. If it's not constructive, I won't give it.
Yeah, fair.
And there are times where you have to give negative feedback, but you
Yes.
have to find a way to make it constructive. If it's completely destructive feedback, you better be firing the person. Honestly. Like, because if you can't say a single thing of we can work to improve this or whatever,
Mm.
that's it, right? Like, you're saying there's no good thing to say about this. There's no way out. Like,
Right.
I have only in my life had, well, never mind. I said only, and then I had to say I fired two people. But I fired two people. Those are the only times I've ever had to give feedback where I couldn't give any positive whatsoever or anything to work toward. Besides, I wish you the best. And that's not really feedback. That's more of a wish and a hope.
That's a goodbye.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
My oh
Oh, go
you
ahead.
okay?
No, go
Well,
for it. It was a half-baked thought. I really want to hear what you have to say.
oh shit. Well, now that you've put you shouldn't have hyped me up because I was gonna say my least favorite form of feedback is when you don't do the audio correctly on a speaker and you can hear the feedback of like
Dude, I was gonna make that joke way earlier, and I couldn't figure out how to make the joke, so then I just dropped it. That sucks.
Jordan, I'm sorry.
Eh,
Thank you for being here.
as before, I kind of knew this is what I was walking into.
My favorite feedback is the Scooby-Doo sandwich method, where we
Uh,
just go over every positive and negative thing in a row and then end on a positive.
That's wild. I kind of
that
wish
is
I could be on your staff just
It
to
takes
experience
7 hours.
that.
okay, but does anybody here ever give like sassy feedback? Like where it's not
yes.
something that's major enough where you're like, I have to have like a legit conversation with you about this, but I'm
Yep.
like, hey, dude, like
Yep.
this is the third time you've turned in your bulletin board late. Like, I'm gonna need you to fix to figure it out.
Or that was a wild way to talk to a resident, huh?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that
Uh,
one later.
my default in the past has been, oh, you really don't like this job, do you?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm stealing it.
Oh,
Oh
please do.
shit. Yeah.
Oh God.
So yes, I have.
Yeah.
I usually wait a little bit. This is how I scaffold my year of sassiness as a hall director.
Well, this is good.
I let my RAs berate me and do whatever they want sass wise without me having any sort of ability to rebuttal until like October. I give them like 2 months of I'm gonna sit here and take whatever sassy remarks you got, but don't you worry. Because like once I start, they're gonna be like, oh, we should have never even tried it with Dallas because I'm too witty for that shit. I got too much in here cooking,
You
dude.
are witty.
It's
Thanks.
true.
I appreciate
Your beard
that.
looks good today.
Oh,
Oh,
I appreciate that.
Jesse, you always have a smile.
that's not even true, but thanks.
I mean, that's fair, but I always notice when you do.
That makes it sound worse.
I notice your smile because you barely do.
Gosh.
Uh,
Thanks, Nathan.
Jordan, are those new glasses?
No. I've had these
Oh.
for like 2.5 years, but thanks.
They're new to me. I haven't seen you in 2.5 years.
Nathan.
These aren't even feedback. This is just compliments.
Yeah.
I mean, compliments and feedback. There's overlap on the Venn
There is.
diagram.
Yeah.
hmm
I love Venn diagrams. They're one of my favorite diagrams.
What's your favorite diagram, Dallas?
I was trying to think of a way to work in diaphragm.
Mm.
They didn't work.
That was a reach.
Yeah,
Oh, it,
but
everything.
you still have to answer the question.
Oh, favorite diagram. I think hey Siri, what are examples of diagrams?
Stop.
Some examples of diagrams.
Oh, I love a good flow chart.
He goes with the first one.
No, that was the second one. The first one was a mind map,
Oh, okay.
which is
You
You
great.
just make one for each student staff member throughout the year, and like this is that good thing. Here's where we branched off.
No, that'd be so cool to timeline an RA's performance via like that kind of method of like we're all starting here at neutral, and then this is when you kind of dipped a little bit, but then you sparked up this way, you know, and then somehow you went that way a little bit, and
Yeah. You were trending downward, and then I saw you speak to your resident at the desk, And then you started talking that resin a lot at the desk, so
Oh,
needed
oh,
to give it a little more attention to everyone.
And then I saw them entering your room, and I was like, wait, are you guys now dating? I'm confused.
See, I say we make feedback more visual, do like a presentation every
this is
time.
great. Yes,
Yeah.
every time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to make a flow chart of every decision you could have made and then made the wrong one.
I think at that point, it's a mind map.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, it 100% would be. That's honestly at that point stalking. It's like you think no one's thinking about everything that you do. Actually, I'm
Actually,
constantly
yeah.
every
Mhm.
day.
All
Yeah,
the time.
and in summary, no.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, and in summary, I guess feedback is just like stalking. Um,
I'm really sorry that I let him do that. In summary, feedback is a good thing, but people have feelings about it, so you should choose the best methods and not the worst ones to make it a good experience.
Ooh.
Whatever. Thank you, Jordan Traum, for being our guest today. We appreciate you so much. You've done a great job.
You're such a good
Thanks.
you're such a good guest. I
Appreciate
love
it.
having you here.
I'll
And,
send you your feedback in writing after.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe this video. Hit that notification bell for probably like weekly notifications. Honestly, I don't know what YouTube does. Comment down below your favorite lunch meat. And we will we'll see you
Give us a
next
like.
time.
We need the feedback.
We need the
Hmm.
feedback. Like I said, lunch meat. Mine's pastrami right now for this segment. I'll see you later.